Welcome to the Better Off Bonus Call of the Week. I'm your host, Jill Schlesinger. We're sponsored by Betterment, the smarter way to invest your money. Now, this is our little special extra dose of your listener questions. If you would like to get onto the program, just shoot us an email. Ask Jill at betteroffpodcast.com. Ask Jill at betteroffpodcast.com. And remember, I'm doing this not because I think I like to listen to my voice. I want to hear your voice. I am somewhat accredited here, gang. I am a certified financial planner. In fact, I'm now the CFP Board Senior Ambassador. Not Senora, Senior Ambassador. And don't forget, we've got the longer show coming out on Thursday. Do subscribe to the show so you get it automatically. You can do so at iTunes, Google Play, Stitcher, SoundCloud. You can always go to betteroffpodcast.com for more information. Right now, we are going to talk to Brandon, who's on the line from San Antonio. How are you, Brandon? Welcome to the show.
Thank you, Jill. I'm doing great.
Good. What can I do for you?
We have been into the passive investing and portfolios for a while now, starting back into the early 2000s. But when we started that, there weren't nearly as many products as you see out there today. And we got started for my wife's money. After we got married, she had some money with that we needed to transition out of an active strategy into this passive approach. And we went with TD Ameritrade at the time.
Okay.
And so that's worked out well. It was annually rebalanced, and we like the strategy. But they have started to move in a new direction. And when they started moving in a new direction, they're doing what they're calling these essential portfolios. And to transition to those, because they're dropping their old product, and my understanding of that, it's because they're trying to compete with the robo-advisors and to try to meet the fiduciary standard. And they're telling us we have to transition this money out of those accounts. So we're looking at that, and there's going to be a tax implication for us. And so we decided to open our aperture and look at other companies doing this. And there are a myriad of choices out there now. And what I'm noticing, though, they're citing the same literature, Fromm & French and the efficient frontiers and all the stuff that you hear within this kind of product class. They have very different asset allocations. And while I used to be kind of confident that I understood what kind of allocation I wanted, as I'm starting to see this wide variety of allocations, all from Betterment or from TD Ameritrade and even Vanguard, I'm kind of getting into kind of paralysis and analysis and just really looking for some advice from you on what to look at. One of the things that struck me about Betterment in particular was their heavy weighting towards international as opposed to other folks that might weight towards small cap or, differences in bonds and that kind of thing.
So really interesting question, Brandon. So first, let me just come back at you. How old are you and how old is your wife?
So I'm 47. She's 44.
Okay. And because you said there would be some tax event by changing the account at TD Ameritrade. So this is basically a taxable investment account. And how much is in that account?
So that account has $179K in it. And to transition to their essential funds could generate about anywhere between $30 to $14K of capital gains.
No, thank you.
We're not that interested. But they're going to stop that product, so it's going to happen to us. So we said, well, my wife's very upset about that, by the way. So she's like, well, then I'm going to look at other options. And that's kind of what we started researching. We started looking at fees because I'm more aware of fees now. And maybe we just kind of go a new direction.
Let me ask you something. The 179, okay, how is it invested right now? In index funds at TD?
Yeah, it was an old product with Amerivest, and it had about, I think, 15 different assets going from all different classes. Everything from just the basic spread across an efficient portfolio from small bonds. It was an aggressive portfolio because we're in an accumulation phase, and it had international, it had small cap. Fairly diversified.
If you called up Fidelity, Vanguard, and you said, I want to open a brokerage account and I want to move everything that exists in my TD account to that new account, would those new accounts be able to hold what you held in your TD account?
Absolutely. Even TD can do that. Yes, absolutely.
All right. Well, then let's wait.
Just hold it.
Okay. So let's be smart about this for a second.
Okay.
The answer is no, you're not going to incur a tax liability for no reason. That's stupid. Okay. And if your wife is hating on TD, then I would just move the account as is. Do not take a tax hit. And absolutely do not take a tax. Why would we I mean, you take a tax hit when you want to. You can control this to some extent. So then what I would do is I would move it someplace where I'm not going to have a tax event, and I'm going to hold that account. Are you adding new money to that account?
Yes.
If you like the funds, fine. Just make sure that the funds that you own are tax efficient, right? And if they are mostly index funds, they are. You know, when you have a non-retirement account, a plain old taxable account, as you are realizing, you have to pay very close attention to the implications of what your investments are generating on a tax basis. So usually we like the index fund world because it doesn't create a tax liability. Now, when you're talking about different robo-advisors and what they would do, the problem with moving all the money over to a robo is that you would probably have the exact same problem. You would have to blow out of everything. I don't want you to do that. I mean,
we don't either.
Yeah. So if you tell me I've got some huge loss and I'm delta neutral, I mean, like I basically have no tax event if I sold everything and started anew, that's one thing. In terms of what the different approaches are, they do all have somewhat slightly different takes on this. So you're right that, you know, one might have small caps, one might have international. I tend to be more of a generalist. I like a little bit of everything. I prefer some international exposure because even if the U.S. markets are doing well this year, I think over time we know that international and emerging markets it's good to have an allocation there. And even though small caps did really well last year, but not so well the year before, again, it's great to have some small allocation to small caps. So there is, just so you're clear, there's no secret sauce. The secret sauce is that you're a diligent investor. You stick to your game plan. You try like really hard to minimize your tax liability. And really, when you think about the big picture, you keep socking away as much money as you can. And that is your secret sauce. How about that?
Yep. We're on to that sauce already.
I love that sauce. That's my 2 cents. So I think I know that you've said you had analysis paralysis. I hope this helps you realize that, you know, the only thing you really need to do right now is talk to your wife about whether she can hold her nose and just stay at a TD brokerage account or whether you're going to move the account elsewhere but not sell everything.
Got it. Yep,
Right.
that sounds great. I think she's going to appreciate listening to this, and it'll clear up a lot of things for her, I think.
Excellent. Thanks so much for calling, Brandon. Take care.
Oh, thank you, Jill. Bye.
Bye. Okay, that's a wrap of our Better Off bonus question of the week. If you've got a question, it's simple. Send us an email at askjill@betteroffpodcast.com. We'll arrange to get you on. And don't forget, in just a couple of days, there's a brand new episode of the Better Off Podcast sponsored by Betterment. Talk to you then.